Hey everybody, how's it going? My name is Chris. Welcome to Stylist Meets Vinyl. Welcome back. Guys, today I'm going to have a little bit of fun with my records. I'm going to play a game that I'm calling Vinyl Connect 4. The inspiration for this album came from my buddy Rob over at Northern Revolutions. A few months ago, Rob made a video called 6 LPs of Separation. If you haven't checked that video out, I'll link to it below here, so make sure you check that out after you watch this video, of course. In that video, Rob connects himself to certain bands through 6 albums. He's got some connections in the music industry, and he uses those connections of friends of his and connects himself to like Aerosmith and things like that. So I think that's a cool idea, and what has always interested me about music and musicians is that these people who share the same circles and they're brushing shoulders with each other, they're seeing each other at gigs and parties and they're jamming together, and eventually they start to guest on each other's albums. And I think that's really cool that you can kind of trace some connections through different albums that maybe you wouldn't expect. So what I've put together is a series of albums here. I'm going to show 4 albums at a time, and I'm going to connect them all through. Some of them are going to be direct, like people who are playing on the albums. Some of them are going to be more indirect, like songwriters and that sort of thing, song titles. But this is just for fun, so it's just a fun way to show some records and have some fun. So stay tuned. Now, let's get started. I'll start off with, okay, first, this is an album called At Fillmore East. This is the Allman Brothers. This is from 1971, I think, 71. This is a live album, terrific live album if you don't know it. I've already shown this on my channel once before, but if you don't know this, check it out, it's great. This here is Duane Allman of the Allman Brothers. Duane plays guitar on this album. He also plays guitar on this album. To Bonnie from Delaney. This is Bonnie and Delaney and Friends. You can see right here, Duane Allman is credited. Played guitar on this album. So that takes us to Delaney and Bonnie. Delaney and Bonnie appear on this album, History of Eric Clapton. There was a live collaboration by Eric Clapton and Delaney and Bonnie, and there's 3 songs here. I Don't Want to Discuss It, Teasin', and Blues Power, all with Delaney Bramlett and Bonnie Bramlett on here as well. So that's Delaney and Bonnie connects us to Eric Clapton. Eric Clapton played guitar on this album, the White Album, While My Guitar Gently Weeps, a George Harrison track. That guitaring on that album is Eric Clapton. I think he's uncredited on this album, but it is indeed him. So, right there, we have 4 albums. Connect 4 takes from the Allman Brothers to Bonnie and Delaney and Friends to Eric Clapton to the Beatles and George Harrison. There's connection number 1. Okay, so now I'm going to show 4 more albums. So let's go to what I want to show next. Let's go to this one here. Okay. I'm losing track of like which ones I want to show in which order. Let's go with this one. Okay, so we're going to start with CSNY. This is 4-Way Street. This is a live album from 1971. Another fantastic live album. I really recommend this. It's a double album, and there are some really awesome tracks. There's the 4 dudes hanging out here. Okay, so on this album, a man named Calvin Samuels, also known as Fuzzy Samuels, appears. I believe he is the bass player on this album. So Fuzzy Samuels also appears on Manassas. You can see him right here, Fuzzy Samuels. I believe that's him right here. Now, this is a Stephen Stills project. This is after CSNY broke up. He created this band, and Fuzzy Samuels was in the band. Or over here. So, Fuzzy Samuels, now on this album, who also appears, but I don't even know if it's listed here, but we've got Bill Wyman Bill Wyman, longtime bassist of the Rolling Stones. From 1962 to 1993, Bill Wyman. He appears on this album, Exile on Main Street, as the bassist. Who also appears on this album? The song Shine a Light. Piano is played by Billy Preston, great musician and piano player. Billy Preston also appears on Let It Be, the track Get Back. I think he's on a couple on this album, but specifically Let It Be, specifically Get Back, that was one of the only Beatles tunes where another artist was named on it, like it was Get Back featuring Billy Preston. So nice little connection there from Four-Way Street, CSNY, to Manassas, to Exile on Main Street, to Let It Be. Okay, next one. Are you guys having fun? Because I'm having fun. Okay, next one. We're going to go with, Yes album. Tales of Topographic Oceans. This is from 1973 or 74. They had a little bit of a lineup change during this one. This is a double album. A little bit of a lineup change where Bill Bruford, their drummer, left the band, and a man named Alan White, who actually just recently passed away back in May. He joined the band as a drummer. So we've got Alan White drumming on this album. Alan White also drums on All Things Must Pass, George Harrison. This is like a huge collaboration. There's so many artists that appear on this album. So, Alan White, Tales of Topographic Oceans, to All Things Must Pass. All Things Must Pass. Who also appears on this album? A man named Peter Frampton. This is his 1976 live album called Frampton Comes Alive. Another great live album. On this album, there is a track called, there's a track called Jumpin' Jack Flash, which is a cover, Rolling Stones cover, written by, of course, Keith Richards and Mick Jagger. Jumpin' Jack Flash, we're going to use that as a jumping point over to Johnny Winter. This is Johnny Winter and live. They also cover Jumpin' Jack Flash in this one. And there it is right there, Jumpin' Jack Flash. Now this one is interesting because you look at those two covers, the cover songs, Frampton Comes Alive and Johnny Winter and Jumpin' Jack Flash, two very different versions of the same song. This one is a lot more bluesy, rocky. This one is a little bit, well, it's still rocky, but it's a little bit, I don't know if I should say slower, but they're different nonetheless. Check them both out. They're good. Okay. That's the connection number 3. Now, this last one is really just kind of like a bonus. It's a little bit for fun. This one is going to be a Joni Mitchell connection. All 4 albums that I show are going to have a Joni Mitchell connection, either directly or indirectly. Okay. So number 1, we're going to start with Nazareth. This is their greatest hits. You might think, Nazareth, like a hard rock band, why do they have Joni Mitchell connection? Well, Nazareth had a hit called This Flight Tonight, written by Joni Mitchell. Look out the left, the captain said. That is a Joni Mitchell tune, which originally appears on Blue, Joni Mitchell's album, Blue. I don't know if we have a track listing on here, but This Flight Tonight, definitely, here it is down at the bottom. This Flight Tonight, right here. Okay, so we have This Flight Tonight. Now, on this album, Joni Mitchell, we have a connection. Who appears on this one? Stephen Stills plays guitar on this album, and more importantly, or more interestingly, Graham Nash. He doesn't appear on this album, but there are 2 tunes that are reportedly written about Graham Nash. The 2 tunes are, let me see if I can find, one of them is River, which you might know. It's been featured in, I think it was in Love Actually. The one where she says she wishes that she had a river that she could skate away on. Great, great tune. Anyways, that song was reportedly written about Graham Nash, because she had just broken up with Graham Nash at this time. And there's also a song called My Old Man that was also written about Graham Nash. Okay, so now we've got Stills and Nash. What's the connection there? Well, I think you know where we're going to go. We're going to go to CSNY, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, and there's Graham Nash right there, and where's Stills? There's Stills right there. Okay, other than what, we're going to go back to Joni Mitchell on this one. There is a really awesome song on this one called Woodstock. That is a Joni Mitchell tune written by Joni Mitchell that was made famous by CSNY. They take her version, which appeared on the album Ladies of the Canyon, which I think came out after Blue and actually came out before this album came out. Or sorry, no, this album came out before Ladies of the Canyon, just by a month or so. But they turned it into a rock tune. Stephen Stills totally rearranged it and turned it into a really nice rocker versus her like slow folky version of. Anyways, okay, so we've got Woodstock, written by Joni Mitchell. Now, Woodstock also, this is a bit of a cheat, but it's, you know, I'm trying to get the Joni Mitchell connection. Woodstock appears on this album. This is also CSNY. This is called So Far. So, CSNY, well, CSN, Crosby, Stills and Nash, released their debut album in 1969, and then Deja Vu there was released in, that was with Neil Young, CSNY. And then this album here is basically like a best of those two albums, which, by the way, those two albums are both fantastic start to finish. So like they're both amazing albums, and then this album takes the best tracks from those two and puts it on one album. So yes, Woodstock obviously appears on this one, but where's the Joni Mitchell connection other than Woodstock, which I already showed? This album cover was drawn by Joni Mitchell, 1974, which you don't know, Joni Mitchell was an artist. She drew a lot of her own album covers, and she drew this album cover here. So there we go. I hope you guys had fun. That was fun to create. Let me know what you think about my connections down here. And are there any other connections maybe that I'm missing out on these albums here? It's been a lot of fun. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you like the stuff, please like and subscribe. And don't forget to come right back here where Stylus meets vinyl. Thanks. See ya.